Hello there, Yogi Shashram. I have a lot to say about this specific topic. First of all, I'll say that I'll play an occasional violent video game. I'm not into shooting games, but I will play an occasional game. Generally, they don't actually involve killing. Some of them do, but usually they involve more of cartoon violence or wrestling, which is, I'm sure that you wouldn't picture them to be much better. But I wanted to respond to you because your spiritual wisdom and ideology is clear, but your political wisdom is lacking, or not political wisdom, but your political intellect. You see, one thing that you're missing very strongly is it's up to the parent, and you cannot tell the government to put a ban on these games. The problem is, there's a thing you need to understand, okay? These games are not causing these violent feelings. They're not causing the killing. They're not causing all that. It's the other way around. They're the product of it. And it may continue it, but they're the product of said feelings of violence or negative emotions towards others. They're the product of physical punishment. I'll say it right there. They're the product of physical punishment. Of The problem is that all this violence, we try to blame these video games or these things with bad intentions, or saying that they're bad intentions, but really, for one, these video games are an outlet for many of these people. There are a couple people who take it too far, but many people just use these video games to deal with such emotions instead of expressing them towards one around them. They would then instead express it through said video game. And a lot of teenage angst goes into, they play their video game, and that causes it. But that's not the cause of the violence. The violence is there. The video game is just a way to get out said violence, to get out all that rage towards other characters towards the game, rather than to other human beings. The problem is some will take it and then use it against other human beings. I think the problem is it starts at home. And let me tell you something. We have to support the freedom of speech and expression, whether or not you like it, or whether or not it's possible. Not possible, but whether or not it's, likable or positive. The problem is we have to hold still those ideas. Just because we don't like the way someone's expressing something, or the art someone makes, doesn't mean it should be banned. There is nothing about it that means it should be banned. It's up to the parents to make the smart choices of keeping that out of their home. These parents have the ability to do that. But if they really want to keep violence out of their home, they will not use violence in an attempt to teach. Violence teaches nothing. If you speak against these violent video games claiming they teach nothing, then neither does smacking a child to make them obey. Respect. If you respect someone, you will not lay a negative hand on them. That is not respect. To hit a child is to show utter disrespect and contempt. And therefore, that child will then show contempt and disrespect towards those around him. Even if it's the elder. They may fear the elder, but they will not respect the elder, who will lay a negative hand on them. What you need to understand is we're not all as spiritually minded as someone like you. We're not all as one with ourselves, at peace with life. We're not. We have emotions. We're human. And some of us just don't deny those emotions. Now, I don't want to unhealthily feed those emotions either. But I think what's more important with the children is making sure they understand that this cannot be made a reality. I think such a thing can be made separate from said reality. if someone has the desire to kill, that is not because of a video game. No, we can't. It's not that simple. The bad intention was there. The video game only helped them feed it. Many people will play a violent video game, such as myself, but it itself will not make me violent or angry. I know this because I've never stopped playing certain, violent games, whatever. And I've dealt with and destroyed my own anger. And you know where my anger started? You know where my, not contempt, but my ill feelings towards others started? Right here. In this house. It's where it started. It started right there on the school grounds. It started within my own head. It started with my experiences. It wasn't because of video games. Video games only gave me a way to deal with these emotions and deal with it. And for one who feels that video games are harmful to their own thought, that is beyond the need for any violent entertainment, more power to them. But me, I'm a human. I have emotions. I'm not a violent human. I enjoy wrestling, but I will never actually lay a negative hand on anybody. I have in the past, but I never will again. I'll feel angry, yes, at times, but I have emotions. I'm human again. I have a lot to grow. And for me to play such violent video games, I think the question isn't, is my intention? Am I playing this for the violence? For example, I like to watch wrestling. But do I watch it completely for the violence, or am I watching it to see the skill being displayed by different wrestlers? Sometimes it's one or the other. For example, if I'm watching a guy take a fork to another guy's head till he bleeds, then I'm obviously watching it because it's violent, and because I'm enjoying violence. And to be honest, that's a little bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. Very guilty pleasure of mine. But yeah, so I am doing that for violence. But for example, if I was watching a match that was a technical match, that was I was appreciating the skill and the abilities of the wrestlers rather than trying to focus on the violence. Intentions are not created by video games. Intentions are held in our own mind. And so, yes, if you have the will to kill, you're creating your own personal hell. I don't know if you believe in a literal hell, but I'm an atheist and I do not. So, you're creating your own personal hell, yes, if you have bad intentions towards others. But we are also human. I ask you this. Would you rather someone has bad intentions and takes them out on a video game, or takes the life of someone around them? Video games are simply an outlet. They're not, and for some they're simply entertainment. Video games are something that we should not become addicted to and should be done in moderation. And if violent games are causing something negative, if violent games, I'm not okay with a 6-year-old playing, Grand Theft Auto. Well, some 6-year-olds actually have done that, but I think the important part is making them understand the difference between reality, and this violence is a part of reality, and helping them understand that, yeah, in the game this may seem fun, but in life, it's very harmful. I think rather than trying to ban the games, it's the parents' responsibility to put everything in context. Spike here. Peace out.